We got this gigantic fire going on, and this is recorded straight from the McKinnon Law Firm Administration and 704 East Olive. We got a gigantic fire going on, and gigantic fire has a spontaneous combustion there. A major constituent of at the law firm administration. Now, law firm administration is coming to you live at John Luke McKinnon, McKinnon Law Office, Professional Corps, 509-765-4451. Fax 509-765-6019, McKinnonLawOffice.com. John Luke McKinnon, 74 East Olive Avenue, Moslake, Washington. Now the fire now is going into extreme spontaneous combustion with the tree limbs. Those tree limbs and those affidavits for the services applying to COVID-19 policy regulations, and I have all that URL information, how FELIX being attacked in Grant County on 56 C Street, Northwest, Grant County Courthouse, Schultz Tarbell Wallace, George Washington House, having millions upon millions, thousands upon thousands of transactions, and having checks and accessories, and go figure. Pretty much the whole town of Moses Lake is engulfed in flames. We're at Manson's coffee shop and telling everybody what happened. I was attacked in Grant County Courthouse on URL, called the State Patrol Office, of course. And the State Patrol Office asked me if I have video recorded information on the whole ordeal, and how the law firm and Mr. Luke McKinnon and Mr. Luke McKinnon law firm has this exhibit of the COVID-19 policy regulations in the McKinnon Law Office, and situated by the individual URL, and that URL is McKinnonLawOffice.com. That's McKinnon. And then McKinnon has a, how would you say, efficiency of McKinnonLawOffice.com, ProfessionalServices.com, John Luke McKinnon, 74 East Olive, 704-765-4451. Fax 509-765-6019, McKinnonLawOffice.com. You know, individual automatic download, submitting information, having this arena of services, how they engulf the Moses Lake catching Moses Lake on fire. You know, that's called karma. It's called witnesses and testimony of what they did to Felix Barela. How they partake of attacking Felix Barela. How they erase information, URL, and go to the police station, and go to the police, and go to George Washington House, go to the Brooks Athletic Club, go to the gym facilities, and harassing Felix in every way, shape, and form. And come and threaten him with conversation, with documents and intel information, of taking their video camera, of taking upon themselves erasing information and partaking, having witness of testimony of individual children. You got 3-year-old, 5-year-old, you got 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, you got 13-year-olds, you got 12-year-olds, you got 18-year-olds, you got 30-year-olds, you got 20-year-olds, you got 50-year-olds, you got 40-year-olds, you got 60-year-olds, you got 100-year-olds, 90-year-olds, 110-year-olds, and they all come from different parts of of Kennewick, Washington, Richland, Washington. They come from Pasco, Washington. They come from Seattle. They come from Mar-a-Lago. They come from Florida. They come from International Airport. They come from the Airport International Facility, and they just witness all this increments of society of this COVID-19 policy, regulation, and service. Mr. Andy Miller, 509-735-3591. Fax 509-736-3066. Applying the COVID-19 policy, regulation, and services to its most individual automatic download and array of service of their That's Andy Miller. 509-735-3591. Fax 509-736-3066. Andy Miller at Seal Benton, Washington. You know, the turmoil, the anguish, the marching minute service of karma, the backlash of the individual service. You know, how they burn the police officers that attacked Felix Barela, attacking the mayor of Othello, Washington, and blowing up his house with combustibles and components, and then catching the police officer's house on fire, and catching his vehicles on fire, and catching his residence and his vacation home on fire on URL. Come to you live. Come to you live. You know, you'd be on the news, you'd be at Tri-State Herald, you'd be at the Seattle Tribune, you'd be on Wall Street Journal, you'd be at 831 Pioneer Way, Rhonda Kaiser Funeral Home. You'd be online, you'd be downloaded, submitted, dealing with their individual systematic downloads and individual karma situated lies and lies upon lies, and taking their video and recording their individual systematic download and distracting and making testimony through the whole state of Washington. You know, now it's a big area, and that whole area is engulfed in flames, and they can't do nothing until it goes out. Well, worst thing that can happen is that the natural propane lines will catch on fire and get so hot and do a spontaneous combustion. The natural propane is no joke, especially in the Moses Lake area, and the services they apply the COVID-19 policy, regulations, and services, and exposing the community to their service center, just like the gigantic laundromat here in Moses Lake, Washington. And the laundromat is specialized in their COVID-19 policy, regulations, and services. I'll probably be in the paper and on the tabloids, but they're not going to put it down and write what happened, what really happened. Their service center and increment to the society and administrative COVID-19 policy, regulations, services. Those is right off, attacking Felix Barela in such a way of manner and discretion, Their laundromat caught on fire, their entire residence and vacation homes caught on fire. Put a side order in their service of COVID-19. They're going to record their information and make things up. But how can that happen? That's McKinnon Law Firm. Come to you live. Mr. Andy Miller, URL. Andy Miller at Seal Bend, Washington, U.S. The 825 Jadwin Federal Courthouse, URL. Senator Patty Mayor, Mrs. Cantwell, and also the Senate office, and also the Supreme Justice Department, the address, location, and also the increments to the Society for Appointment, which is the new Mrs. Jackson. Chief Justice Department, and her URL and system download. We're in the hallway in the COVID-19 policy, regulations, services. No background, no criminal history, nothing. No way, shape, weight, and form. law club, which is the law firm, McKenna Law Firm, and carrying the COVID-19 policy, regulations, services to its utmost individual download. They call it the lavender laundromat, which was engulfed in flames on URL. Annie Miller at Annie Miller at Seal Button, Washington. Benton County Justice Department, the federal courthouse, Senator Pamela Mrs. Cantwell, Mr. McKenna Law from URL. See, all that information just downloaded, submitted, dealing with their inquiry and manifest of transcript and services, applying their COVID-19 policy regulations. They have this exhibit, individual automatic retaliation, which is another war on their hands. Witnesses and testimony, their services, applying the COVID-19 policy, regulations, and services that they're going to download. Now you can bring all your sheriffs, your deputies, your U.S. Marshals, fire marshals, the restaurant UBI number, banquet, party house, restaurant, bar, motel, and all their services. UBI number 602720. Mrs. Secretary Kim Wayman, get all this established fabrication and services and get their video camera and put it on video and just make things up, They just come in service. They come in individually get handed off their automatic individual systematic services at the administration office. So they're going to have to find the corporate. They're going to have to find the individual, They're going to have to find the person that dealt with it, The person, the identification of the individual automatic police officer and associates individuals at George Washington House and the Brooks Athletic Club, and also of course, the library. The Freda Library and the Moslake Library, they get this continued write-up plan, and their Safeway employees and staff members all combined in one and get their individual automatic fabrication and services, making things up and try to clean, make like their shit don't stink and they didn't do nothing wrong, array and services, and nobody called the cops on Felix Barela, and then even though the cops show up, because they intimidate them and threaten them every way, shape, and form, and letting Moses Lake and being aware, and these children know Felix Barela is aware and what they do and what they are capable of doing, and they think it's pretty much legal in every way, shape, and form of doing their individual systematic download and infiltration of the service of saying they did the right thing for the society, which look and behold, looks like World War III. Basically, it's World War III, not World War I, not World War II. It's World War III. This is George Washington House. This is the Grand County Courthouse. This is the GTA bus drivers increment society, straight into the increment society of the individual automatic URL. You know, this whole society knows what they did to Felix Barela. You know, what they did in Othello. What they do and try to stuffing him in the vehicle and driving off with him into a... So we'll go to the Grand County Courthouse in the hallways and do pictures in the front Grand County Courthouse and George Washington House. They probably don't even own it to me. It's Mike Sheik. He's the owner of the entire property. Got equipment all over the place. We got Andy Miller with equipment in the front and back of the Benton County Justice Department, the federal courthouse, and laying asphalt, and over in Mercedes-Benz Ford Company. And we got asphalt burning at the 831 Pioneer Way in Rodney Kai's property. See, it's World War III now. Not World War I, not World War II. It's World War III. But they're not going to say it's World War III. They're going to tell you it's you know, the China virus. They're going to say it's the Ebola swine flu. They're going to say it's the precision plan of the Service of COVID-19 Policy Regulations. They're going to say the COVID-19 Policy Regulations Service Center applying the COVID-19 Policy Regulations is implemented. It's World War III. They're not going to say it's World War III. They're not going to say it's World War I. They're not going to say a fashion of old guerrilla warfare, World War II. They're going to say North Korea, Vietnam. They're not going to say China. They're not going to say Iran, Iraq, Iran, or Afghanistan. They're not going to say, of course, they're not going to say Pakistan. They're not going to say their Service of Employment Detachment Unit, Elite Force and Services Center, sieging all and bombing a United States Air Force war campaign. It's World War III, basically. World War III. The testimony in their service of COVID-19 policy regulations. That's the Lavender Laundromat, and then now it's the gigantic outskirts of the residence of that police officers. The Mexicans, and also the white minority police officer putting a show out in front of Mr. Brooks, Mrs. Brooks, in front of all the judges and Mr. Andy Miller. All the federal courthouses at 831, of course, at 825 Jadwin Federal Courthouse in Richland City Hall. Applying the COVID, and also the banks and the services right across the street, into the street where I'm trying to cross the street. Go figure that out. Like attacking Felix Barela, having thousands upon millions and millions upon millions of sub-accounts and services for their assessments, for their tax forms. Social Security Office 831. And that's, 831. Klamath, Cincinnati, right on Grand Ridge. You can't miss that. It's live. Huh? Oh, that's live. That's a real thing.